Hi there, here's my hot take on George R.R. Martin. There's no denying that George R.R. Martin is an extremely talented dude. That is the truth. That's not an opinion, that is a cold hard fact. But what is an opinion is that George R.R. Martin has been kind of frustrating me recently. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks that way. So let's talk about why. One of the obvious reasons is because of how long we've been waiting for him to finally finish his series, which, let's be honest, is not ever gonna happen. He is the guy who created A Song of Ice and Fire, one of the best fictional universes that most of us have ever read. And thus from that created one of the best TV shows that most of us have ever watched, Game of Thrones. But it has been so long since the most recent installment of his book series. I mean, when was Dance with Dragons even released? I actually don't know. I am going to Google it right now.
When was Dance with Dragons released?
2011? I knew it had been long, but I didn't think it had been that long. I were a child, and I'm no longer a child. So what is that, 14 years? He's been making us wait 14 years. Are you actually kidding me? Okay, the guy is great. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's a nice man. Fair enough. But how can you expect somebody to wait 14 years? Like, that is actually beyond a joke. We've all been waiting for Winds of Winter. Hopefully it will come out. I'm gonna be honest, I have completely lost hope that it will. I'm not even gonna talk about A Dream of Spring in this video because to me, that's a pipe dream. That is not coming out. If you believe that that book is coming out, then you are a much better person than I, and you live your life with a lot of hope, which is very inspirational, but I am not that person. Call me a negative Nancy, I don't care. That book is not seeing the light of day anytime soon, if ever. Winds of Winter, however, will we see it? I don't know. The time frame between Dance with Dragons and Winds is a full-on teenager. That is a 14-year-old. Absolute carnage. It's just so long. Now, the reason why I wanted to make this very random, sporadic, chaotic video is because of George R.R. Martin's most recent blog post on his Not a Blog. So the blog post was published on the 28th of January this year. So the guy is still alive and he's still creating updates. That's brilliant. It's nice to hear from you. He's actually posting quite regularly on this blog, if I'm being honest. Not a lot of it is A Song of Ice and Fire related, which is, to be honest, the only thing that we want to hear from him right now, but it's nice that he does update. For the die-hard fans that care about him and his personal life rather than the fictional universe that he has created. I'm not one of those fans. I want to know about A Song of Ice and Fire. So in this post he's giving updates on the upcoming TV show for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which is the Dunk and Egg novellas. Interestingly, I wanted to highlight on something I picked up on as one of the main things that entered my mind when reading this blog post. Here at the bottom. And once I finish The Winds of Winter, I will need to get hopping on The Village Hero and all the other tales that await the lads. Don't worry, I am sure you folks will remind me. That we will. Does this man think that he's going to live forever? For the sake of all of these unfinished projects that he has started, I hope he does live forever. I hope he is the first person that is actually immortal. That would be pretty cool. However, is he just humouring us here, or does he actually think that he's going to finish all of these projects? You're telling me that he still actually believes he's going to release The Winds of Winter, The Village Hero, Blood and Fire, Dream of Spring? And isn't there meant to be 12 novellas overall of Dunk and Egg that he has promised? I ain't buying it. And I think one of my favourite parts about this blog post is that comments are actually disabled. So we're not even actually able to voice our opinions or to offer feedback. He has actually stripped us of the right to comment on his blog post. Now, whether or not that's a decision by him or by his team, I'm not sure. But either way, it kind of feels like he doesn't want to listen to us. We're just the average person and he is George R.R. Martin. I just feel like he is looking for reasons to purposely not finish The Winds of Winter. That's what I'm getting from this. I think that's partially because HBO keep throwing money at him to produce these various TV series, like House of the Dragon and Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. And if I'm being honest, if they keep firing money at him, we may actually see the next novella for Dunk and Egg released before Winds of Winter, because HBO will probably want to continue the A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms TV series and thus creating more seasons, thus he needs to write more novellas. because at the moment they can only make a maximum of 3 seasons because there are 3 novellas. So what did you guys think to this recent blog post by George R.R. Martin? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If I'm being honest, it gives me hope about the A Night of the Seven Kingdoms TV show. The Duncan Egg novellas are actually some of my favourite pieces of work by him, and A Night of the Seven Kingdoms was actually probably my favourite book that I've ever read. I couldn't fault it. To me, it was perfect. Which is a controversial opinion, I know. Not many people value the novellas that highly, but I just flippin' love them. So I'm a little bit apprehensive about the TV show because I want it to be done justice, but at the same time, if George R.R. Martin is happy with it, then fair enough. That makes me feel a bit better about it, and I know it'll be a good TV series, I hope. However, we all want Winds of Winter. We don't want these various TV series as being churned out over and over and over again. We don't want Blood and Fire. We want Winds of Winter. Where is it? And why have we been waiting 14 years for it? So after reading that blog post, I started scrolling through his Not a Blog, and I came across one from March 2022, which in this blog post, I feel like he was a bit passive aggressive, and I feel like he was a bit mad at the fan base. Let me know your thoughts on this. So he's talking about his projects, and he says, I know, for many of you out there, only one of those projects matters. Obviously the Winds of Winter. I'm sorry for you, they all matter to me. Yes, of course, I am still working on the Winds of Winter. I have stated that 100 times in 100 venues. Having to restate it endlessly is just wearisome. I made a lot of progress on Winds in 2020, and less in 2021, but less is not none. What's with the passive-aggressive vibes? Martin, can you actually blame us and be mad at us for caring purely about Winds of Winter? You're the one who started this by creating the best fictional universe to ever exist, and now you're mad at us because we want it to continue. I just did not like the passive-aggressive vibes. I'm not here for it. I get that he is passionate about other projects, and that's fine, and he can see these come to light, but I think we'd all be a lot more understanding if he pursued these projects whilst also not making us wait 14 years for Winds of Winter. It's like he's kind of taken the mickey a little bit there. So yes, this video is a little bit of a rant, but I think it's just because when you actually think it through, the time frame between Dance with Dragons to now has been so long, and I think a lot of the fan base are actually getting a bit annoyed at how much longer they're going to have to wait. And I personally think we will not see Winds of Winter. Because if he's made us wait 14 years already, why do I still think it's going to come out at all? I really hope I'm wrong. I really, truly hope that. I hope at some point I will be able to hold a physical copy of Winds of Winter, and you too. And there are sample chapters out there for it, which means that it is a work in progress. It's not like it hasn't been started. I feel like George R.R. Martin has been given too much pressure to finish the series, so it's not going to happen. I feel like the series has gotten too big on a grander scale, more than he ever thought it would. I do feel like he doesn't listen to the readers or the fans. I think that our opinions are not validated by him, and I think that it's coming across as nagging. He feels so much pressure, and he feels like we are constantly nagging him to finish this series, thus it's demotivating him. I also kind of feel like maybe he doesn't know how to finish it, or he's put so much thought into it and there's many different ways that the plots can go, and he's just indecisive. He can't think of the cause and effect. He can't think of which plots make the most sense or are the most realistic. I also do think that, you know, he is an individual human who has chosen to do what he wants rather than what his fans or his readers want, which is fair enough. He's still doing stuff. He's pursuing projects that he enjoys. He's enjoying his career. He's enjoying his money. And I just think that maybe he isn't enjoying writing The Winds of Winter enough. There is such a thing as writer's block. Maybe that's what he's got a cold hard case of, because it's been many years. I also think as well that he's just got enough money to retire. He's not getting any younger. He's not a particularly young man, and it must take a lot of brain power and effort to create something like A Song of Ice and Fire. Does someone of his age have that much mental capacity and brain power to finish it? Probably not. That's probably why it's taken so long. I think he is doing what is fun for him and what isn't too draining on his mental capacity. and he's just enjoying his career in his later life with his money. And for that, I don't think that we will see Winds of Winter. That is a strong statement. That may get me some dislikes on this video. I just wanted to give my hot take because I have lost all hope that we will see it. And I definitely don't think the series will be finished. It would be the biggest plot twist ever if he released Winds of Winter and Dream of Spring at the same time and was like, psych, I've been working on them both. Could you imagine if he did that? That would be such a boss move. So I think what we should do is we should finish the series for him. If we could write the next installment of A Song of Ice and Fire, what would we include in it? Let's all come together, let's do George R.R. Martin a favour, let's write his series for him, because he clearly is unable to do it right now. I'm sorry if I'm coming across as passive aggressive, I'm just reciprocating what was in his blog posts. Okay, it works both ways. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy rereading the series, I'm going to enjoy watching House of the Dragon and A Night in the Seven Kingdoms. I am currently watching Game of Thrones for the first time, I'm on season 2. Subtle plug, I am reacting to every episode on my channel, if you want to check them out. I would love to know your thoughts on whether or not you think we're getting Winds of Winter in our lifetime, and also what you think the holdup is. Do you know more information than me? Do you know a reason that George R.R. Martin has said as to why it's taken him so long to release the book? I just wanted to get this off my chest because I had a lot of thoughts and feelings after reading that blog post by him. And no guys, it's not that deep. It's a book series, but it's a very powerful one, and it's one that a lot of people care about. And it's one that I care about, but I also know it will never be finished. Let's have a discussion about this in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. No hate to George R.R. Martin. This video may have come across as a little bit negative, quite a lot negative. I don't hate the guy, of course I don't. I can't hate him when I love his book series so much. He's just been frustrating me a little bit, and I think that's valid. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments so that we can keep this conversation going. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it or if you agreed with any parts of it. If you want access to cool perks, then please make sure to check out my memberships. Just want to give a big shout out to the Dragon Riders are supporting my channel, it means the world to me. If you want to get your name featured in my videos like this one, then please consider becoming a Dragon Rider. Or if you would like to support the channel in any way, then take a look at my memberships. And if you like my content and you want to see more from me, then please subscribe because it's free and it means that you can see my videos easier. I will see you next time, or rather you'll see me. My next video will be out very soon, unlike Winds of Winter, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye for now.